The reason I'm making this video is what I don't want is I'd like to help prevent this same thing that happened to me to happen to anybody else. When I originally got into this, it was with the intention that someday I would have a family and have a place to go and spend a week vacation with them without having to spend an enormous amount. They explained to me how much I'd be saving by doing this, and eventually I would own it and I wouldn't have to pay anything, and then I could will it down to my children. Then my children would basically have a free place to be able to go and spend with their family, and that all appealed to me. I was single at the time when I got this, and even if I said, okay, if I even don't use it this year, I'll use it next year, and eventually I'll use it every year with my family. It's been approximately 4 years, and I've only been able to use half of 1 week, and so I really haven't used it. I've used a few bonus times here and there, but they're so difficult to get, which is something they don't tell you when you first get them. You have to book things 2 years ahead of time. Every time I call, they tell me, oh, in order to get one at that time of year, you'll probably have to book it about 2 years in advance. I don't know how many people know when they can take vacation 2 years in advance, but I'm not one of those people. So this video is really an effort to help those folks out there. If you're looking to make a decision to get a timeshare, I can tell you for sure, don't do it with Silverleaf Resorts. They have misleading practices, and if they could get someone like me to do it, and I'm almost embarrassed to say I've been in sales for a long time. At this point I've been in sales almost 20 years. They got me to do it because I mistakenly believed that they were telling me the truth, and I found out they lied to me. If I wasn't lied to about what I'd be getting with the timeshare, then there's no way I would own a timeshare right now. If they laid all the real facts on the table, then I wouldn't have all this here, and I wouldn't be making this video to try to help other folks out. If you're thinking about getting a timeshare with Silverleaf Resorts, I'd highly advise you not to do it. My first visit to Silverleaf Resorts in Piney Shores, which is in Conroe, Texas, I remember sitting with the salesperson, Adam Bellinger, and he explained to me how investing in a timeshare was one that was going to be a sound investment, and that's something I could will to my children, and with time I can also rent it out, which can help make some of those payments. He also told me in time the value would increase, so I could sell it, and I would be able to sell it for more than I paid for it, because it just so happened that the resort they were offering me, or the timeshare they were offering me, had some equity built into it. What he told me is because of Hurricane Katrina, some people defaulted on their loan, and Silverleaf bought it back from them because they had a hard time because of Hurricane Katrina, and that I could benefit from that because they had already paid half into it. And so going into it, I thought I was getting something that already had a decent amount of equity in it. So I was told that the property had equity in it because of Hurricane Katrina. The people couldn't finish making their payments; they defaulted. The property was originally $21,000. The people had already paid $10,000 into it, and so all I had to do is pay the remaining $11,000 and change, and I would have the property free and clear. At the time, I also was told that the maintenance fees were rolled up within that $11,000, and once it was paid off, I wouldn't have to pay anything else. I found out later on that was all. The other thing is when I originally got this contract of the sales rep Adam Bellinger, he basically told me that this was something that was available now because it was something that they bought back from people from Hurricane Katrina, and that after today I wouldn't be able to get that same deal. So of course, looking at that, thinking it's a great deal, I went ahead and took it. Unfortunately, I found out real quickly that it was very difficult to get a bonus time or a week when I wanted to go. Over the next few months, and even within over the next year, actually, I received several calls to have me come up and take a new tour and a membership update of Piney Shores. And each time it was another sales presentation where they wanted me to get into a different timeshare. Well, one time I went up and there was another sales presentation, but they told me they had something brand new, which was called a Diamond membership, but it was only for a very short period of time. And if I got into it, basically I would be owning 2 timeshares, but now I could really be able to have the power of getting my week when I wanted to. In addition, I would have more trading power with RCI. On both of the presentations that I went through, there just happened to be, this is what I was told, that there happened to be a manager in from their Dallas corporate office, and they were able to find me a great deal on something that already had the equity in it. And I was lucky they were there because they have access to that particular type of situation. So they left the room, went and said, hey, listen, we got this great thing. Someone started paying him something. All you got to do is finish paying it off, and then that property is going to be yours. It wasn't until just recently I found out that there is no such thing like that, and that was just something they told me to get me to sign the paperwork. I'm first invited down there. I was told that I was referred by a friend. They never revealed the name of the friend, even though I asked several times. I was told the presentation was going to take 45 minutes to an hour. Overall, I ended up being there a little over 3 hours. At the time, I suffered from low blood sugar, and by the time we sat down in front of paperwork, which you can see there's a lot of paperwork here, my head was already swimming. The paperwork itself, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, 20 at the most, for me to actually fill it out and sign it. I thought it was going to be like a mortgage. I had bought a house recently. I thought it was the same paperwork because they told me it was like a second mortgage, and it was going to be a nice advantage for my tax, and also would help me in my credit. As it turned out, they never reported to the credit agency. The main part is that they explained to me how good of an investment this actually would be. That over time it would increase in value, plus because I already had equity in it, that if I wanted to turn around and sell it, even within the next year, that I would make a good sized profit. When I got the second timeshare, they again told me because it was a diamond, I would have more trading power, and it would be more likely that someone would want to buy those timeshares from me. So I thought I was getting to a good sound investment because that's what they told me I was getting into. As it turned out, I found that nobody wants to buy a timeshare, nobody even wants to rent one out. I've already paid the company of several $100s just to try to sell or rent my timeshare, and that never worked either. Before making a decision, they explained to me that if I ever needed help with booking my weeks or bonus time or something like that, I would just have to call them and they would help me through. When I tried calling Silverleaf, the people I was looking for were never available. Even when I went down there, they were told they would help me go online and show me how to do a point-and-click system online, which I never found. I don't even know if that website really exists. They claimed there was a new website that got you your weeks very quickly. Never found it, and they never helped me out with it. That was also a lie. So for anybody who's even considering going to get a timeshare with Silverleaf Resorts, I highly advise against it. They use deceptive practices, they lie to you, they make no qualms about it, and once you're in there, the way they treat you is less than a human being should be treated. They'll tell you whatever they need to tell you in order to get you to sign the contracts, and while you're signing it, they'll start explaining little bits and pieces here, just enough to get you to sign, but not enough to tell you everything that's on there. It's not even worth the visit. The 90-minute presentation that they tell you about will end up being 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours, depending on the rep that's there. That amount of time is not worth whatever prize they're going to give you at that point. So my recommendation to anybody is to avoid going to any timeshare presentation, because why take the chance? But particularly with Silverleaf Resorts, because they will lie to you to get you to buy whatever you want, and then you're locked into it for the rest of your life.